Here is Shazam number 16, the first of the All In issues, which just came out recently. And I'm not sure I know what to think of it. Um, I was kind of excited at first when I saw that there was a new artist on here, Dan McDaid, who had previously been drawing the Kneel Before Zod series, miniseries. I hadn't been following that, but I had seen some of the pages from that series, and I thought they looked cool. They had a kind of retro Jack Kirby-ish feel to them. Um, but the problem is I had been enjoying the art by the previous artist a lot, who isn't going to be drawing it anymore. Now Dan McDaid is going to be drawing it. That's not his cover, by the way. Some of his art can be seen inside here. That's what Dan McDaid's art looks like. It's a little cartoony, but I kind of like that. But here was the artist that preceded him on the series, and I've forgotten his first name. Emanuela Lupacchino is his name. Now, he took over from Dan Mora. Mark Waid and Dan Mora launched this series back in whatever it was, 2023. And I wasn't really buying it at first. And so I ended up buying it when the Creeper appeared in number 9. But this turned out to be Mark Waid's final issue. So I assumed I was just going to be buying this as a one-off, because I like the Creeper character. And but I found I liked the art, enjoyed the issue. So I got the next issue when it came out, issue number 10, written by the new writer Josie Campbell is her name. And let's see where the credits are there. There we go. Whoops. And so you can still see it's still being drawn by Lupacchino, who had replaced Dan Mora. So you would think, well, a brand new creative team, but luckily they didn't renumber from number 1. And I enjoyed it. It had a kind of nice, hard to describe it. It felt almost like an issue of Power Pack or something like that. Sort of like a children's book or a young adult type style to it. But it was in a realistic style. That was how the artwork was sort of like, they're drawing kids, but they're not like in an overly cartoony manner. Anyways, you can see there. And so it was kind of heartwarming. Of course, you have Talkie Tawny, and you have Hoppy, the little rabbit that hangs out with Darla there, which is really cute. I can show that later. Anyway, so I kept buying the series. This is issue number 11. Similar type thing. And there's all the kids, and there's Darla and Hoppy. And the Captain, who is what Captain Marvel is called in this series. Then issue number 12, and so on. So I wasn't really enjoying this series. This is issue number 13, and issue number 14, and then finally issue number 15, which was the last issue drawn by Lupacchino. Billy Bats and the Captain Reunited. Has a fun little cover there. And, Uncle Marvel is in it. There's a fun tone to this series that's like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time, it doesn't act ridiculous. There is the thing of the talking Hoppy the bunny, but the bunny can only be heard by Mary and Billy, I believe. I think there's a footnote related to that in the current issue. So then I got this just a week or so ago, and at time of recording. And like I said, I wasn't sure what to make of the artwork. It looks a little different. Billy looks a little more cartoonier than what we saw before. I don't like how Freddie Freeman, now he's not Captain Marvel Jr. anymore, as he used to be back in the day. Now he's taken on the superhero identity of the Commander. And there's sort of this rivalry between him and Billy for the affections of this girl, the next door neighbor. And, it's a little cheesy. It's a little silly. And there's Darla and the Hoppy the Bunny, and it says here in the footnote, only Billy and Mary can hear Hoppy, but that has not stopped Hoppy and Darla's friendship. That's very cute and heartwarming. And there's the next door neighbor girl that they like. So, like I said, Captain Marvel, or the Captain as he's called here, he does appear a little cartoonier, which is, consistent with the history of Captain Marvel. This is a nice page, but again, I don't like how exaggerated the facial expressions are here. And I just don't like, Captain Marvel Jr. is a much better character. The look of him is much cooler than the Commander, who just looks like a goofball. But I really like how the red colors pop on these pages here. So, it's a pretty simple story, but again, not sure about some of this art. Like, there's the Commander again. He just looks kind of, it just looks a little too cartoonish. I don't know what to make of it. And then you have Mr. Mind at the end of it. So to be continued. So Mr. Mind is going to be the villain in the next story arc. You can buy this issue off the rack, $3.99, and it's the start of a new story arc, although it is continuing a thing with Billy's mother is going to try to reclaim the kids or something like that. So, it's continuing a story arc that had started way back in one of these issues. Maybe it was number 11. So that tiny little subplot, is where she's coming here. That is going to continue. They do mention that in the series. But overall, you can just pick it up, read it, start if you want to start reading Shazam. But like I said, I have mixed feelings about the artwork because I really liked Lupacchino's artwork. That's not his cover, by the way. I don't think he drew the covers, but the inside art, just had a very appealing look to it. So very, very charming. It would touch more realistic looking than the sort of more cartoony or exaggerated look of McDaid. But maybe it's just because I've been used to reading Lupacchino's work, for the past few months, and maybe it'll grow on me. So I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to keep buying it. But I do like the tone of this series. You don't have to follow any other DC comics, really. I mean, they do mention that the Captain and Mary have joined the Justice League because of the All-In initiative. If you saw the All-In special that came out recently, all of the DC heroes are part of the Justice League now. Justice League Unlimited, that Mark Waid and Dan Moore are going to be launching very soon. So I enjoyed it. It's funny, this cover kind of reminded me of like the way Frank Miller drew Superman in The Dark Knight Returns. Has sort of that similar sort of blocky look to it. But not drawn by McDaid, but there's McDaid's Captain Marvel. Anyway, so I'm enjoying the series. I wonder if it'll grow on me. I wonder if the inker, if maybe there's an inker difference, might make the artwork look more appealing to me. But this character does have a history of sort of a cartoonier look, going back to C.C. Beck, back in the 1940s, and Kurt Schaffenberger. And I do like their approach. I think their approach was fine. It might be sort of the blockiness or the exaggerated part of it that I just don't care for. So maybe if that got if they just made it a little more cuter looking, then it might be more appealing to me. Anyways, so mixed review for me. Overall, I'm sticking with it. Don't know exactly how I feel about it. So I'm going to give it sort of a C, but previously it would have been like a B, or B plus or something like that. I was really enjoying the series. And so we'll see how it goes. See how long I keep buying it. Thanks for watching.